What is up, everybody? Welcome into the Network 2-on-6 postgame for your Week 14 Browns victory over the Jacksonville Jaguars 31-27. I'm Jacob. That's Nick. Mr. Roger First and Cuyahoga Falls down below us. Gentlemen, we are brought to you, as always, by our friends over at Homage Apparel. I got the angry runs, David Njoku back on. Massive first half for David Njoku today. Almost got his 100 yards and a couple touchdowns. We got Joe Thomas. We got the pierogi power. We are all decked out in homage. You want to get decked out in homage, go to the link in the description down below. Also go to our Twitter at network_216 tomorrow, as we will give away yet another Homage Victory Monday Browns t-shirt. Gentlemen, how are we this fine Sunday evening?
I'll tell you what, Victory Monday sounds great to me. You know what? This to me, I said it on the pregame show, and I'll say it right now. This was the pivotal point of the season to me, because you're coming off 2 losses. You've got a razor thin AFC playoff race. It feels like a million teams that are 7-6 right now, but you won. And you're 8-5 because of it. You're on top of every other wildcard team. I feel fantastic. I missed you, Roger. It's good to be back with you. How are you?
Nick, Jacob. Nick, I'm doing fantastic. Jacob, good to see you tonight. I'm doing fantastic after a big Browns win. Hey, imagine this. Imagine you're Joe Flacco. You're 2 weeks removed from sitting on your couch. You're standing on the side. You're watching our defense get the ball back for you again. You know, and Stefanski's calling a beautiful game for you. Our defense is swarming. They're attacking everywhere. You know what? This is a defense that we saw on paper and dreamt about what they can be. And Jim Schwartz has brought it to life. You got Martin Emerson was just brilliant today. Delpit, Koromo, and Newsom. That front seven was swarming all over it, man. I can't get enough of this defense. I just can't get enough of it. I want them back. When I watch a game, I want the defense back out on the field. You know what I mean? It's like, all right, offense, great job. I want to see the defense some more. So, man, I'm fired up. It was a great game, man. Great win. 8-5 Cleveland Browns. We beat. You know, they were third best team in the AFC, right? You know, we took them down. Now we're sitting at number 3, right behind Baltimore and Kansas City. So, man, I'm fired up. You got me fired up tonight.
I'll just say, heading into Monday night, everyone was saying that Jacksonville controlled their future to be the number 1 overall seed in the AFC. You just beat them. Sorry, Jacob, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you're okay. I want to, as we start this, I really want to play this locker room speech from Kevin Stefanski. Not just the locker room speech, but it's not just him. It's a mixture of him and a couple of the Browns players. So I'm gonna put this up on the screen real quick for anybody that has not seen this already. I think this is a great place to start. So let's get this up here on the screen for you. And let's listen to what Kevin Stefanski had to say post-game.
Hey, that was not a playoff game. But that sure as hell felt like a playoff game. And that's our season from here on out. That's our season. That's this journey that we talked about last night. That's what it is. Okay? What I saw was guys that were fighting for each other. That's what I saw. Okay? Defensively, 4 takeaways. And the kid with 2 of them.
Blessings, 1-0, man. This day, our boys, man. I'm proud how we played. Chicago next week.
Yes, sir. Okay. Hey, we need all 3 sides of the ball, right? The dude comes in, ice in his veins, 55 yards, no doubt about it. Let's go!
Hey, that's what good teams do right there. Stick together, fight adversity. It's not always going to go our way, but who's going to fight the longest, the toughest? That's us.
Here it comes.
Okay, then offensively, it wasn't always perfect. We don't have to be perfect. We're looking for our best, but we don't have to be perfect. All right, but 3 for 3 on 4th down is pretty damn good. All right, that's the story of the game right there.
The coach is right, man. You know, it was not pretty today, and I was not my best, but these are what makes teams. These tough games. You know, you guys earned the right all year to play December football, and that's what we're doing right now, and that's what it looks like sometimes. And in January and February, this is what it's going to be, and to have the the mental toughness to come through in those types of games. That's what winter's made of. So, hey, bring these games on. It's just going to make us better in the long run. And I appreciate you guys having me, man. I feel like a 10-year-old kid out there.
Man, I love that. I love the thanks for having me there.
Man.
Thanks for having me, Joe Flacco talking to the rest of the team, man. I really wanted to play that because I think it really articulates everything that I want to get my point across here. Having come just a little bit off of that game before I get to rewatch it all 22 and break it down, but just talk about kind of where it was. And it's like Flacco comes out there, 300 yards, 3 touchdowns, ice in his vein, throws it 46 times at 38 years old, looked fine, took a shot. That fumble, when he fumbled, he took a shot to the armpit, a helmet to the armpit in his arm, and he went back out there and he was totally fine. He started slinging the thing. Yep. David Bell, I feel great for David Bell. That was an awesome play for David Bell to sit down on the zone on 4th down. He was going to get 5 yards. David Bell was going to get 5 yards and keep the play going. Yep. But instead, the guy falls down. David Bell turns around and he houses a 41-yard touchdown. And I know that had to feel just great. He was cheesing, smiling ear to ear after that play. He absolutely deserved it. But
on that play, Jacob, real quick, he had them two running the exact same route, only about 2 yards of side by side, where both defenders didn't know who, and they ran the exact same pattern. Yeah. And just one was like a yard. It was just beautiful design. The defenders didn't know who was getting who. It was just beautiful. One of them was going to be open. I don't know if it was Bell was. Yeah, I mean, Njoku, the other one dragging across the middle in front of him. One of them was going to be depending on who he chose, man. And I, as soon as he did it, I thought of the movie, the Raiders of the Lost Ark, where he's like, you have not chosen wisely. He went down and it was close to the house. Man.
You have not chosen. I think that works really well for that.
He just melted. Yeah, he was gone. He just melted into the field.
And my thing, though, that I keep coming back to is the coaching job that Kevin Stefanski has done. And Myles Garrett comes out. He talks about it after the game, just saying, he's coaching his ass off. That's a direct quote from Myles Garrett. And it's evident, man, the play designs, the scheme that they were out there running, there was a lot of really, really well-designed plays and misdirections. And I really liked that run for a first down from Dorian Thompson-Robinson, where he gets up there and they're like, okay, are they going to power run it? What are they going to do? And he just kind of runs this, kind of a quarterback sweeps style play where he gets, Kareem Hunt and Harrison Bryant as lead blockers in the hole. And the only people that could stop Dorian Thompson-Robinson get hit by Harrison Bryant and Kareem Hunt, and they get the first down. And I just thought there was a lot of creativity and misdirection in the play, the playbook and what they called this week. And they really took steps forward over what they did last week in what was kind of a limited offense for Joe Flacco getting out there. Joe Flacco looked 100 times more comfortable in this game. And it's an attest to who he is, because last game he didn't look uncomfortable, but he looked so much more comfortable. And it's like, I've seen everybody tweet it, that saying that's a professional quarterback. Like that's what you get. And Flacco's out there having a blast. You see him in the post game and he's fired up. Kevin Stefanski showed as much emotion as I've ever seen on that David Bell touchdown. He was dancing. He was dancing. He was, let's go. Let's go. I love this team. I love
that's 4th and 3.
Yeah, man. Top to bottom. I'm sorry, Nick. I love this team. I love them so much. Nick, take it away.
First of all, just with Joe Flacco's speech, I love the way that he pays tribute to what the team has done before he got there. And it's like, it's not like, he's not just taking the team and I feel like he's paying respect to all of them. And it's clearly playing well. You can see that this team is in cohesion, in unity, just they're working together. They're fighting for it together. And I mean, I could go down the list of what the Browns were missing, but I do want to say I was terrified when Delpit, which two of the most unlucky plays today of running into Myles Garrett between, was it Za'Darius ran into Myles and Delpit ran into Myles. And you had Juan Thornhill ruled out shortly before the game. You've already lost Rodney McLeod, and then you have Grant Delpit get hurt. So you are literally down to DeAnthony Bell and Ronnie Hickman. You are trotting literal undrafted free agents out there in the secondary. And for them, I know it wasn't pretty. I didn't expect it to be pretty. I didn't think, but they overcame it. You're down to your 4th and 5th safeties. You're down to your 4th and 5th offensive tackles. You're on your 3rd and 4th quarterbacks. And we talked about this pregame, but I just want to give the credit to Joe Flacco, because the Browns really did not have a whole lot of any run game to speak of today. I've essentially asked, because Joe Flacco had to step off the couch, he's stepping off the couch, and they're just saying, hey, just throw it a million times. Like, we didn't think the Browns were going to throw it a million times. And here's Joe Flacco, the first Browns quarterback this year to throw for over 300 yards, the first Browns quarterback this year to throw for 3 touchdowns. Like, the guy is, I said this today, the Browns picked up what the Jets traded for in Aaron Rodgers, or what they thought they were. It's just a veteran quarterback that is out there slinging it. He doesn't need a run game. He's going to get he's going to move the offense. I know I'm gushing. I don't want to go on too long. It's unbelievable. To me, it is the greatest story in the NFL, what the Browns are doing right now.
You want to hear a stat? You want to hear a Joe Flacco stat?
Yeah.
Let's have a Joe Flacco stat. Against the blitz today, Joe Flacco was 9 of 12 for 182 yards, 3 touchdowns, and a 156.3 passer rating, and a perfect passer rating is 158.3.
It's a second game with the Browns.
Well, they were like, let's blitz him. He's a statue. Let's blitz him. Okay. Blitz him. Go for it. He'll throw 3 touchdowns. I don't know, man. Roger, how do you feel about what Joe Flacco's done, man?
Man, you know what? The first scripted plays, even last week, we went first series touchdown and then 5 punts. Today it was first series touchdown, 2 punts, and we got the ball back. They converted on a turnover, and that's what I think with Joe Flacco is the improvement, or the step, getting to know the offense better. He's capitalizing on the defensive getting the turnovers. He was just in control. You know what I mean? He was just absolutely in control of the football game. He was the leader out there on the field. He was just picking apart the defense at will. Our run game, like you said, we didn't have much of it, but he turned our swing passes into shovel pass. He looked awkward doing it, where it looked more natural with a runner like DTR, where they do that quarterback shuffle. They shovel pass it to the running back. But he threw some good screen plays and opened up. But what he really did for one guy in particular is he's opened up David Njoku.
Yep.
How about David Njoku today? Career day. First time he had 2 touchdowns in one game. Did he go over 100? He had 90 the last time 91. I saw it. 91.
Yeah.
But how about that? Using Njoku, just a talent waiting to be. He's been here like 5 years, 6 years now. Just a talent that's there is ridiculous. So, Joe Flacco, my QB1, man.
Yep.
I want to talk about who I think is my favorite player, Martin Emerson. Martin Emerson, man, we were all week. We talked about, man, we're getting Denzel back. He's back on the field. He spoke to the media. Denzel's going to play. We get to 11:30 this morning. Denzel's out. He's not playing. And you're like, well, maybe it'll be okay because Christian Kirk is hurt and Trevor Lawrence is hurt and his offensive line's not very good. You're thinking, no, maybe it'll be okay because Martin Emerson's on the field. Like that first interception, it looked like that ball was thrown to him. He tracked that ball for about, 10 yards. He intercepted it, I think, around the 30. And if you watch that play, if you see Emerson at about the 42 or so, he has already locked onto that ball and he knows it's coming to him. And so he's just pop, right in the breadbasket. I mean, it looked literally like Trevor Lawrence was throwing it to Martin Emerson. It was just a great play. And then he makes a really athletic play to get his second interception of the game in the red zone. They were in field goal range. Don't undersell that second interception. They were in field. He caught the ball at like the 10-yard line. Like they were going to score. they were going to at least get a field goal in that moment. And Martin Emerson found a way to make another play to be where he needed to be at the right time. And don't forget, he laid some wood on some hits today. Like Martin Emerson, he had 3 pass defenses and 2 interceptions in the first half when they got to halftime. Like that's what he did. And it's just, he's been an absolute steal in the 3rd round for the Browns last year. And he's finally starting to get some real recognition around the league. And for me, now that defensive line created a lot of issues up front today for Jacksonville. But if I was picking a defensive MVP in this game, it's Martin Emerson. And it's not just for the plays you noticed, but for the fact that Trevor Lawrence did not throw his way. He was like, I threw 2 picks. I am not throwing this guy's way. And he did everything he could to stop throwing at Martin Emerson. And then he threw an interception to Greg Newsome,
which was cool too.
Which was awesome too. Yeah. But and I really liked what the big play by Anthony Walker to strip that ball and get recovered there. But really, really love what Emerson did today.
I think that's a big piece of this story and this win is we've seen the Browns turn the ball over and really be unable to overcome that. And when Newsome, when Emerson picks the ball off twice and Newsome, picking off the ball once, and you mentioned this, like those turnovers are what changed it for you. Yeah. And there was another one. I don't remember who sacked Joe Flacco. It might have been Grant Delpit that took them out of field goal range. Yep. It's like there were a lot of points that the Jaguars were threatening to have that the Browns completely erased any ability to score. And so I just, for Emerson to step up when I think most people thought Denzel Ward was going to play, and for Emerson to be able to fill those shoes and really then some, just be this alpha corner that's a game changer that forces the turnovers. I mean, that's a Pro Bowler to me. That's a guy who's going to get an extension and be here for a long time. I don't think there was a lot of doubt about that, but that's a dude you drafted in the 3rd round. Like the longer these, we're fresh off the Delpit extension today, which I thought he played pretty well before getting hurt. We'll see how he's doing with the injury report, but it's like all of a sudden, you're looking at these Andrew Berry draft picks and you're saying, that's a hit. That's a hit. That's an extension. There's an extension. Like, what?
Andrew Berry can't draft. Don't be silly.
That's a huge piece of this, man, is that depth you build through the draft when these injuries have struck. I mean, the Browns, to me, have overcome more than anybody else has this season to be where they are right now. What say you, Roger?
Hey. You know what? I was interested in seeing today is the matchup between 2 coaches that coached on opposite sides of the ball for a Super Bowl championship.
Yeah,
with Schwartz and Peterson, and you never know who's going to win that matchup. When 2 guys that are familiar with each other that went through a season together have to face off against each other, and our defense was well prepared. It looked like we knew exactly what they were going to do. Like you said, Grant Delpit sack to knock them out of a field goal range was just like mind reading. It was almost like they had Connor, what's his name, Stallion stealing signs over on the sideline, and we're gonna have to look into that because we looked like we knew exactly what they were ready to do. So Jim Schwartz won that matchup against his head coach and boss for the Philadelphia when they won the championship together.
Hey, you know what? I thought
so. That's what I was really interested in. Pardon?
No, you're fine. Go ahead.
My guy was Corum. Well, again, 8 tackles today, man. 8 tackles. Greg Newsome. He's out there. You're watching. He talks a lot, but as long as he backs it up, he almost had a pick. He didn't even expect the ball there on that sideline play. But the defense was lights out today. I think it's a little overshadowed today because of the game that Flacco had and the game calling and the plan that Stefanski put together and what the offense is. The first time we saw the offense, not the first time, but it gave us confidence in the offense. We didn't know what was going to happen. We know what our defense is. So I think the defense really stepped up today and kept us in that game and why the offense was putting it together.
I'm sure glad the Browns didn't trade a draft pick for a kicker that lost a kicking competition.
Hey, what? Well, I know we're about to talk Dustin Hopkins, but Juan Thornhill just tweeted.
We don't have to talk about Dustin Hopkins. I just wanted to make that joke.
Yeah. Well, Juan Thornhill said, despite all our injuries this season, Coach Stefanski still find a way to put us in position to win each week. Love that guy. He's got the little salute thing. And like, I don't know that I've ever seen Browns players more publicly gush about a Browns coach ever.
Been trying to tell everybody.
That guy.
Nick, you commented on a tweet that I had just a little bit before this show. I said the culture is really changing here. Like this culture is really changing. We prayed for these days, and you said, "And pray, did we ever?" You said something like that, which really kind of emphasized what I was getting at. But like, I'm just like, we've been waiting for a guy to be this. We've been waiting for a quarterback with arm talent. Like, we've been waiting for all of these things. This team can win a playoff game. I think that, don't act like, I know Jacksonville's banged up too, but we're banged up. So I don't give a shit if they're banged up. That was a good football team. That was a football team that has already won 8 games when you played them. You know, you went out there and beat another good team. You beat a good team. You've beaten good teams this year. So the top 4 seeds in the AFC right now, 2 of them have played the Cleveland Browns and lost. Now, granted, the Ravens also beat the Browns, but you get my point. They're not just beating the Cardinals and the Titans. You know, the Steelers are a playoff team still. They're in the 6th seed right behind Cleveland. They beat them. You know, Denver, of course, beats them and, you know, things like that. But Jacksonville's a good team. You continue to go out there. The culture is changing. The stuff, we are shifting. We are seeing things move. And it's just like, enjoy it, man. Like, enjoy this ride. This ride has been awesome. But I don't think it's close to being over. I think they make the playoffs. I think they could look at the other teams in the playoffs and you tell me which ones they can't beat. Tell me in the AFC right now what playoff team they can't beat.
Nobody.
I just looked at it. The Browns have beaten 4 of the 6 teams currently in the AFC playoffs. Indianapolis, Pittsburgh, Jacksonville, and Baltimore.
Right.
4 of the other 6.
They were saying on the postgame show, you know, all of them, all the talking heads, all the coach, they said the Browns are going to be a tough out. Imagine if we get a home game. That's what we're playing for now. Let's, you know, we're the playoffs. I'm counting that as we're in. Let's concentrate on getting some home game because we're at home. We're a dangerous football team. We're a very dangerous football team. And they were talking about it after the game, you know, nationally, that we're a tough out. You got to come to Cleveland and play in January. You know, you better buckle your chin strap.
And the officiating was dog shit today. And Delpit went down, and Sandarius and Ogbo left at certain points in the game. Right before the game, they lost Juan Thornhill. They had D'Anthony Bell, there we go, and Ronnie Hickman, who have not really played much at all. They played a ton today, and they just step up. Injury, next man up, who gives a shit? Injury, next man up, who gives a shit? Joe Flacco is the starter the rest of the way. He was on his freaking couch last month, and you go out there and you tell me that Kevin Stefanski's not a good coach. Like, he's coach of the year. I'm not gonna stop. I'm not gonna stop. Well, he has won games with 4 different quarterbacks, 4 of them, and PJ was really bad.
He's 2-1 with PJ.
Won 2 games with him.
You know what? I want to build on your point because it was something Joe Flacco said that I think we've been trying to get the message out to people because everybody thinks that not everybody. There's a large contingent that seems to think like the Browns should be this like perfect, pretty, sexy winning team all the time. And it's like, yeah, that's the ideal scenario. But like, even for as good as and consistent as the Chiefs have been over the past, 5 years, like they're not winning pretty and sexy all the time. And Joe Flacco said it himself. He's like, these games in December, they're not always going to be pretty. That sometimes this is how these games look. And he knows that. He's been there. And he said it himself. It's not going to Kevin Stefanski, what matters is winning. Kevin Stefanski is winning. It does not need to be this flashy, sexy thing. Although Joe Flacco going for 303 touchdowns, that's pretty sexy.
Yeah.
I don't know.
He's a good looking dude. He's a good looking dude. And Roger, I'm going to say two things, and I know Roger's got a point.
Yeah.
I just want to point out all Joe Flacco does in Cleveland Browns Stadium is win. Just so we're clear, every time that man steps in Cleveland Browns Stadium, he wins. It's bullshit, but now it's on our side. Okay. And the thing that sticks out in that post-game presser or that post-game video locker room speech from Stefanski was Dustin Hopkins just being like, who's going to fight longer and harder? We are. Like he was like, you got to go out there and you got to battle, and you got to battle longer than everybody else. That's us. That's us. That's what we do.
Yep. Flacco was talking about being at home watching this team before he actually joined the team. And when he first joined us, went back and looked at some, and he said that we're right at the cusp of putting our neck, just stepping on somebody's throat and just blowing them out. And he said, but it looks like sometimes this team likes to almost toy with the mouse while they caught it, bat it around a little bit. He said something, he didn't use that analogy, but it's almost like they enjoy that. Let's just keep them right here, and then we're going to pounce on them. Man, what a gift it is that he was. I love it because I think it gave him an appreciation. He said, I feel like I'm 10 years old running around out there playing. His boys are old enough to be able to watch him. There's times where I'm like, man, I wish my sons were around when I was still playing ball, softball. Not around when I was playing football, but you know what I mean? Like when I was still athletic, I can't walk now, barely walk. But I understand what he's saying now because his kids were babies when he was playing at the peak of his career with Baltimore. And now they're, I don't know. I think he has like a 12 and a 9 or something. Yeah, and they get to watch dad play football, and he's winning and doing good. So I love it for him, man. I love it for him. I think it gave him a new appreciation for the game. He doesn't need money. He's just out there playing the game, you know?
You know what does suck about this year? I wish Nick Chubb was out there, man. Nick Chubb on this team would be.
Yeah,
man, I would really like our chances with Nick Chubb and Joe Flacco on this team. But I will say Jerome Ford continues to play his butt off. Like, it's not always pretty with Ford, but Ford has figured out how to take those swing passes and get positive yards every time. Ford, he struggled with his vision and seeing some of these cutback lanes, but I will never question if he's running hard. Like, you will never question that about Jerome Ford. Like, he maybe early in the year, but like Jerome Ford is going to put his head down and he is going to run hard and fast, and he's going to pick up extra yards. And I think he's played really good. Kareem Hunt has a role, and that is to get 3 yards. He does it. He's not going to be flashy. He's not going to be pretty, but he's going to lower. He's going to jump over people for first downs, or he's going to lower his head, and he's going to do his job. And you have a team now that a bunch of guys have jobs, and they might not be, being the best player on the planet like Myles Garrett or anything like that, but they're all doing their fucking jobs, quota. And because of that, because of that, you are 8-5 and in the driver's seat for the postseason. Driver's seat for the postseason with 4 quarterbacks. DeJuan Jones has been your right tackle because Conklin went down. DeJuan's missed a few games, and Hudson's sucks, but he's doing things. Jerron Christian has come up huge for the Browns this past month at left tackle. Not perfect, but he's not a liability.
He's a 4th and a 5th tackle. You can't.
Yeah, exactly. He's a 4th or a 5th tackle, but he doesn't look like it. He looks like a 3rd tackle. He looks like your 3rd stringer, not your 5th stringer, And it's like, PJ Walker has some awful games, but you win. DTR played better, got blown out in one game, had a win. You go to Flacco. the Watson thing made this season feel completely over. I actually currently think Flacco's playing better than Watson did when he went down. He doesn't have the running option, but I think Flacco has the arm talent, and it's really, really been beneficial. I just think that all of these parts, Andrew Berry has put together just an amazing roster, but you know how it's an amazing roster. It's because it just keeps working. It just keeps working. Quincy Carrier said this the other day, talking about the backup epidemic, right? Because we have backup quarterbacks everywhere right now. So many, there's been like 7 or 8 significant injuries to starting quarterbacks that have them out. And, and you add on Kenny Pickett.
Herbert and Stroud both just got hurt today.
And Herbert and Stroud got hurt, And so, but Quincy Carrier, I believe it was him on Twitter that said, do you know how you solve the backup quarterback question? The rest of the roster around him. That's how you solve the backup quarterback. You put a great roster around that quarter. Look what's happening with Jake Browning in Cincinnati. That offensive line is better than it had been in years past. It still needs some work, but they have T. Higgins and Jamar Chase and Joe Mixon and Tyler Boyd, and Jake Browning understands the offense, and he's running it really well. And he's won 2 straight against playoff teams, against these Jaguars and the Colts. And it's a testament to what they built there and the way this culture is going. And it's just everybody is bought in. And when everybody is bought in, man, you can be dangerous in January.
I want to say, you know what? I know the Browns. The biggest frustration to me is just the lack of success in the run game, but that's not a discredit to Jerome Ford. I feel like Ford is making guys miss when he especially when he's catching the ball shallow. And there were a few of those plays that could have been for a loss that he ended up getting 3 out of, which I think is a credit to him. And so the biggest piece here, because you mentioned Nick Chubb, and we know the running game is always going to be good with Nick Chubb. I'm hoping moving forward that the Browns can figure out how to have some success on the ground with Flacco, because if they can, and I think that's like to me, one of the biggest pieces that's making this story so special is the Browns do not have a running game right now. And Joe Flacco is just shouldering this offense, because I was looking at it as the time's ticking down. I'm like, well, if the Browns could run the ball, they probably could end the game here shortly, but they can't. But it's like Joe Flacco is just carrying the entire offense at 38 years old. And it's unbelievable that he's able to do that. But I'm really hoping. So, maybe they get Jedrick Wills back. Maybe, you know what? So this is literally just his second game, Joe Flacco's second game. Maybe they start to figure out some things offensively, as they move forward. Because if the Browns can get a running game, Joe just went for 300 and 3 touchdowns against one of the better defenses in the NFL. The Jaguars are no slouches defensively. Don't let what the Browns did today fool you. That Jacksonville's been consistently good on defense. So, that's my point. Is there is something really here with this offense. It's not a gimmick. It's not some flash in the pan. You're not playing poor opponents. You just took it to Jacksonville and their defense that aside, I know they're on a 2-game losing streak, but they have been consistently good throughout the year. That is unbelievable. The more I think about it, the greater the story is. Because you don't bring a guy off the couch and say, hey, you're going to throw it 46 times or whatever nonsense it was that Joe did. But it's fine. You know what? We're so trained to think that throwing the ball a ton is bad. For Joe Flacco, it's not. It's not.
All right, guys.
You know what, Nick? You mentioned get Judd Wills back, and it made me today during the game, I thought when watching Hubbard play right tackle, it made me miss the play of Judd Wills. Judd out there playing. Hubbard struggled bad today, man. But what you're talking about is they're relieved to have that veteran MVP. I think there's a lot of pressure put on the entire offense as a whole, the position players and the line, to help the rookie or to help PJ Walker. And now you got a guy walking that was a Super Bowl MVP. And they don't have to carry that burden of relying on Joe Flacco, because now we don't have to carry him. We don't have to catch balls over, as much, it's a relief for them because they got a leader. They got a guy that's leading them out there right now that knows how to lead them in Joe Flacco.
That's what I was going to say. They don't have to worry about being superhuman.
Right.
On catching the ball.
Yeah.
But All right,
What are
guys.
we gonna do, Joe? That's their attitude now.
Let's go around let's wrap this thing up. We'll go around the horn. I'll start with you, Nick, and go to Roger, and then I'll come back. Final thoughts.
I feel like this is where David Njoku turns the corner on the offense. Every time that guy gets the ball, he is a freight train. Like, my favorite play of the game, I think, was when Njoku took one hand and basically bench pressed the defender in front of him to get that first down. You're wearing the Angry Run shirt. I think we have been waiting a long time and talking for a long time about David Njoku's athleticism, his explosiveness, whatever. And it's like, finally, they're really getting this. Like, he's a freak. He's a genetic freak. He's absolutely a freak of a football player. And to see them getting him involved is so exciting. I love it. I think this is really the breakout party. And David doesn't look back from here.
Roger, what do you got for me? Final thoughts.
You know what? What I loved was a little DTR package that I think Stefanski going to keep him involved, to keep him involved in the game plan, keep him involved in the game. I love that. I think our defense right now is just hitting its stride. I really do. I think that right now they know that they can play when the next man up, they can still go out there and perform at a high level. We got Chicago next.
Yep.
We had we dragged him down to the ground 7 times the last time we played Chicago. Maybe our front 7 can get after him a little bit.
It was 9, wasn't it?
Pardon?
It was 9 times.
Was it 9? 9 times. But yeah, they come here, right? It's a home game?
Yeah, it's a home game.
Yeah, Chicago coming to Cleveland, and I see a W, man. I see a W.
My final thoughts are, don't come crying to me that I was right about Kevin Stefanski. Don't come kissing my ass like y'all didn't shit on him all the time. So all you haters out there, I also think that the David Bell haters can also suck my butt. But me and Casey on the Barking Brown show and on the pregame show, we made it very clear: don't be a bitch, go get it. Well, they weren't bitches. They went and they got it. Amari Cooper is Amari Cooper. Like, that dude is the most consistent player I think I've ever seen in Brown and Orange. That's what he's going to be. He's going to make plays. They're making tough catches. They love playing together. This team loves playing together. There's just talent all over. Go get healthy. Don't worry about practice this week. Just fucking, damn it. I went over. There was 2. Hopefully we don't get demonetized. Hopefully we don't. Nobody's watching at this point anyways. 37 minutes in. Anyway, but yeah, no, like, get healthy. Go 1-0 next week. Go
1-0 next week.
Don't worry about the last 4. Just go 1-0.
Give us some good injury report news. That's all I'm asking.
Yep.
With that said, this has been a Network 216 victory review 8-5 episode. And Nick, he's Jacob. That's Roger. Go Browns.
Go Browns.
Yay!